And it is a football Friday. And we always start the show off with Big SILZ. What an absolute incredible weekend we have in store. The storylines, by the way, week 6 last night gets kicked off. Brock Purdy made himself third. He made himself $30 million last night, and he'll make his additional $30 million when that football team makes the postseason. He's a good quarterback. You go up to Seattle and you get that victory, and you had to have that win. They're under 13 running back. Kittle's in and out of the lineup. I mean, that guy is a great quarterback. He is no longer just the pumpkin that you're hoping that, you see this guy turns back into. He's not that guy. He's a good player, man. And many of you don't want to face it because you're watching your guy melt down in Philly. This guy's a good player. He is a good player. By the way, as always, we are powered with our good friends from BetUS for the next 4 hours. And we appreciate you guys coming here each and every single day as you do, especially on a football Friday. Don't forget, Sunday is the pre- and post-game show for the Eagles with the legendary guys that we have, and that's one of the best shows there is in Philadelphia in all of sports. Make sure you check out the pre and post, and then the post with Xander after the fact. By the way, Geno Smith, one thing about the Niners last night, I thought they were going to give another one back. I thought they were going to give that game back last night. But they manned up, and they end up getting it done. 304, appreciate you, brother. All super chats go to the top. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit that like button. Say it now. How about them Cowboys? Hoss, you're about ready to start leaking oil here in the next 4 weeks. You're about ready to start leaking oil. Good old M. Reyes to start the old show off with his bullshit ways, thinking that his football team is good. You're not. Oh, wait a minute. You got the shitty Browns. You've got the shitty Browns. Hey, I gotta look. I gotta look at many of you in here and the optimism that you have for your Eagles on Sunday against the Browns. By the way, NLDS tonight, Dodgers and Padres. That should be one for the ratings books. One ends up punching their ticket to go play the Mets after the Phillies absolutely melted down. I love Philadelphia sports fans. Who's to blame? No one's to blame. The Mets were the hotter team. That's a sport of momentum, baseball. It's a sport of momentum and bullpen. And you had none of it at the end. The Mets were the hottest team going into the playoffs in the National League. You ran into a team that was playing better ball than you. That's the bad thing about baseball. There's 375 million games. Doesn't really matter if you have the better team. Traditionally, the better team doesn't win the World Series. The hottest team does. Can I tell you what Major League Baseball's postseason reminds me of? It reminds me of the NCAA tournament. You can have the greatest college basketball team throughout the entire season. That team traditionally doesn't end up going on and winning the national title. It doesn't matter. I mean, it just doesn't matter. That's a sport of momentum. Kimberly, Lombardi on this AM. When a coach shows you who he is, believe it. When a player shows you who he is, it's spot on. I believe the team is going to get worse before it gets better. Not this year. Hey, Kim, I've been saying that since day one, and so has Angelo been saying that since day one. I don't believe the Eagles are going to get better. You guys are under the impression you're going to have fool's gold potentially Sunday, Kim. And you're going to beat the shitty Browns. Everyone's going to start crowing again. You're going to sound like Cowboy fan. Dude, I'm going to give you, Kim, I'm going to give you some reference points here to be looking for Sunday when it comes to your Eagles, okay? I promise you here. You'll understand what I'm talking about here. I mean, let me say something to you here. So let me get this right. Hey, Kim, help me out on something here. So you have a linebacker now that's hurt, Kim, and Nakobe Dean, right? Why would you cut a linebacker and Devin White, who you never gave a chance to play, whether he sucked or not? Tell me how that makes sense. We're not even sure Nakobe Dean's going to play Sunday. And you cut Devin White? Didn't Nick say a couple weeks ago we're going to need him? Didn't Vic Fangio say you guys were going to need him? I mean, help me out on some of this stuff. Help me out on this. Just the simplest thing, Kim. You got a linebacker that's hurt, you cut one. Okay. When the GM goes after names and not fit for both teams and coaches, you can't be surprised when a team has no identity or direction. I mean, it's selfish ball. Gunner. It's the worst constructed football team since the Dream Team. This is the Dream Team 2.0. Okay? Look at this dickhead. Look at this. That's not the point, dickhead. You got one less player. Van Sumeren's not a good football player. He's average, if that. Look at this guy trying to make Van Sumeren sound like he's a good player. Who said he was good? Steve, where in your mind do you think Van Sumeren's a good player? Tell me. Tell me where you think he's good, Steve. Steve. Okay, Steve, tell me where you think he's good. Where in the world did you think he's good? Where are you getting that from? Why? Because he's on your team? You have the worst linebacking core in pro football. Where in the world do you think he's good? Where did you get that from? My Commanders will beat Philly. Hey, dude, the Commanders have the best linebacking core in the NFC East. Who? Cooper DeJean and Trotter Jr. are coming in for video game Maddox and paper thin Dean. Dude, absolutely. I have more confidence in Cooper DeJean and Trotter Jr. than I do in those other losers. Actually, Mr. International, I totally do. Okay? The Van Sumeren and Van Helsing. Van Helsing is your linebacker now. Holy shit. And all of a sudden, Van Helsing's good. I don't really give a fuck what his name is. You got a guy named Van Helsing playing. Oh, and by the way, let me get this bad puppy on this Friday kicked off in the right note. Hey, Kim, Sue, you in here? Are you guys in here? I need a woman's perspective on this. Okay? I do. And help me out here. Yeah, Rip Van Kinkle. I mean, who? Better yet, M. Reyes, you're perfect for a woman. I need your perspective. Hey, Kim, no disrespect. I got to get a woman's view, so I'm going to get M. Reyes' take. Okay? So, hey, Kim, no disrespect to you, hon. I need a woman's perspective, so I'm going to get M. Reyes' take because that guy, I can get him to give me a woman's perspective more than I can you, Kim. Okay? So you guys know that like website called Tinder? I heard people have, no, isn't it like Jason Kelsey's site that he met his old lady on? Right? Isn't it like he met his old lady on Tinder? Right? You kind of tell him about yourself. You know, you like, you know, your likes, your dislikes, what you look like and shit. You know, I'm married 35 years, so I'm not in on any of that shit. I'm just going by what Jason Kelsey or, you know, some people do with their Tinder profiles. Is that right? M. Reyes, I'm sure you know that, because if you could give us a chick's perspective, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Isaiah, go. Oh, perfect. Isaiah, I met my wife on Tinder 6 years ago. Awesome. Isaiah, you're perfect then. All the people that have been on Tinder, Isaiah. So hook me up here on this. So when like Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are talking about their relationship over and over and over and over and over and over again, like when you meet someone on Tinder, don't you got to get comfortable, you know, knowing your dislikes and your likes? How many times did you guys talk about your relationship before you guys finally like went on a date with one another? Because to me, when I hear Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, they're still like in the dating stages here. Help me out if I'm wrong here. Like, how many fucking times do I need to hear these guys talk about their love life and their love relationship with one another? You know, we're in harmony now. You know, I really like the guy. Hey, Jalen and I really had a great talk. I'm like, holy shit, dude. You guys need a room. I mean, you guys need a room. Hey, Isaiah, am I right? I mean, Jesus Christ, you met your wife 6 years ago. I promise you, you guys didn't talk about your relationship more than these guys do. It's really wormy. Hey, me and him really had a great talk. Hey, I was glad that we got together with Harmony and we sat around all week eating pizzas. And, you know, we talked about our love lives and everything we were talking about in life. Holy shit. These guys are so, I won't say it. I won't say it. I won't say it. Okay. Holy cow. White's terrible. Couldn't even trade him. Fourth best linebacker. Trotter starts Sunday. I have a feeling Dean's not going to be seen for the rest of the year. I'm just trying to figure this thing out here, man. Hey, Jalen, I love you. Hey, yeah, Nick, I love you too. How freaking wormy, man. I mean, I've never heard a coach and a player talk about their love life and their relationship more than Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Hey, Bruce, I was gonna say it, but hey, Bruce, I didn't say it. Zander, I didn't say it. Hey, I didn't say it. Okay, I don't know how that got up there. I have no idea how that got up there. I don't know how that got up there. I don't know how that got there. Bruce, I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know how that got there. Bruce, I've never seen it. I know Xander didn't do it. I didn't do it. Magically, that thing just popped up there. Okay? SILZ, are you jealous? I don't know. I don't know. Hey, 215, I don't know. Okay? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Holy so. Hey, Xander. I love you. SILZ, I love you. Geez, I mean, you know. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, Bruce. You might be onto something here. Holy shit. How long is this going to go on? And how much are we going to hear these guys talk about their love life? Really love the guy with two guys that are leaders of the team. And I loved him. You know, we got a lot of good things aired out. It sounds like you guys were going through like divorce proceedings. And then you were at a marriage counselor. Who's the marriage counselor? The owner? Doesn't that sound like a marriage counselor? Yeah, we had a great get together. We got together in harmony. I thought we were going to have to split up the air miles and the car. I thought we were going to have to, split up, the houses and shit. Jesus criminy. I mean, these guys, they must have met on Tinder. At least Isaiah's got a relationship going. Get this. Isaiah met his old lady on Tinder 6 years ago, right? Well, they got a relationship. These two guys met each other on Tinder 3 years ago, and they are still talking about, yeah, you know, we have to air things out. Holy cow. No wonder they named that thing the Tush Push. Oh, sorry. I don't know. I don't know how that slipped out, but shit. This is just getting too hysterical. It's getting hysterical. Listening to these two guys talk about their love life and their love for one another is really weird. Go fucking play a game. Holy cow. Dude, honestly, you know, I listened to the coaches and the players prior to coming on the show. And I was listening to that Sirianni thing today, and I swear to God, I did what Zander did. I couldn't listen for the last 7 minutes of it. So excuse me if he said something that was completely not relevant. But here, before we open the show here with the topics, here's what I took from this thing that he did today. His new name is Kamala Sirianni. I mean, I don't know what he said. Let me give you one, for instance. You know, you see a perfect game at baseball. You know, you don't get a perfect game at football, but you get a perfect game at baseball. And turnovers, you know, that sometimes the ball gets punched out. You know, it's a ball hand issue. You're like this. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? SILZ, I dumped the bum. Was on the Olympic team for Poland. Powerlifting, awesome. He's a champion. Met on a subway, killer. Love it, man. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year, give their marriage counselor a ring, for sure. Guys, please hit the like button. So wait a minute. Hey, guys, here was some of the press conference from Nick Sirianni. Did you see him doing all this shit in the air, doing all that? I was like, what's he doing? Yeah, you know, you see a perfect game in baseball. You know, you don't get a perfect game in football, you know, because there's no such thing. You know, you strive for it, and baseball, you get a perfect game, right? And, you know, it's a product of it, and you kind of understand it. You know, in the turnover, sometimes it gets punched out, sometimes it doesn't. And, you know, you do all the things that it takes, you know, to get into position. What's the other one? It's a ball hand issue sometimes. I was like, talking about. I had no idea what he was talking about the entire interview. The entire interview. Dude, I mean, I don't know what he was saying. Here, it all works hand in hand. And I'll keep that private, you know, me and him and our conversations and our love for one another, for him and Jalen. You know, just kind of morphed into something. You know, we were talking about certain things, and all of a sudden it just morphed into something. And, you know, we went on, we did more, and we went into other areas. And I'm like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting listening to him. It's exhausting. You know, it was a first organic meeting, and then, you know, it got into more. What? You guys are swapping spit? What did it morph into? Oh, God. We did different things this week. Even to the down to us taping the way we do things differently. We tape things differently. Like what? They were nude? Were you taping them in the shower? What were you taping different? How does that help you in a football game, taping things that you practice? What are you talking about? Go play a game. What are you talking about? Hey, speaking of, now I understand why Diddy taped everything. Yeah. Hey, now I get why Diddy taped everything. Taking a crap, taking a piss, eating, having sex, doing blow, doing crank. I mean, I get it now. Why did he taped everything? I don't know what he was saying. Yeah, we did it all the way down to taping. We did some tackling drills that were different. So in the bye week, in the middle of the season, you started doing things differently because you're not sure of what you're doing going into the year. So you have no conviction on your personality or identity. These people don't know who they are. They can't win. They have a loser mentality. They have no idea who they are. They're leaderless from the quarterback all the way to the head coach. They are frauds. They are not fucking leaders. Leaders don't talk and act like children and people on Tinder. This is so unbecoming. And if you are doing certain things in the behind the scenes, don't expose yourself like this. You look pathetic. I mean, you look like you're on drugs. I mean, this is unraveling right in front of your faces. And get this. I saw somebody post something. Football, please. I'm with you. Football, please. Please, some football. Love life conversations, taping things in different practice drills. Hey, certain teams are 2-2 and act like they're undefeated. The Eagles at 2-2 act like they're 0-4. They act like they're 0-4. More people in here have confidence in them than they have confidence in themselves. I mean, shit, no wonder. Play the young guys. Young guys don't know better. These other guys, they have different likes. They have different focuses. Avonte Maddox has no focus. Darius Slay is talking about all week long being on a podcast with Micah Parsons that happened 2 weeks ago. You got the Cleveland Browns Sunday, guy. Man, you got another 2 guys talking about their love life and their profound love for one another. Every time, let me tell you this. Here, I'm going to make a point to you. Kim, help me out on this. How can you improve when you spend more energy bearing criticism instead of facing it? JAKIB, correct. Let me say this to you guys. My wife and I don't tell each other we love each other at all. We call that shit word salad. But we've been together 34 years. My wife goes like this. Don't ever ask me if I love you. You know why? We've been together 34 years. Really? You're right. Really? I don't need to ask that question. I know it. Same thing with my grandpa. Okay? Damn right it explains a lot. You're damn right it explains a lot. Damn right. I don't need to have somebody tell me bullshit. I need you to show me and act it every fucking day. I'd rather have you do the right thing every day and act like my wife or act like my grandfather or grandmother every day than fucking tell me shit that doesn't matter. Okay? Shit. Seeing someone else? Really? We both don't leave the house. That's my aunt. That's my aunt. We don't leave the house. Put up or shut up, right, Kim? Dude, tell me all that bullshit. Every time people talk about, get this. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, every time someone talks about their relationship with anybody, you're cheating on the relationship, whether it's with a business partner, whether it's your teammate, whether it's a coach, you're cheating on the process because you have to convince yourself because you're insecure over it. My relationships in my life, I'm completely 1,000% secure in. I don't question them. There's one of the very few things I don't question. The love for my daughter and her love for me, my love for my wife, my aunt, my family, and what I'm doing here right now. The rest of it, I don't care. Okay? My grandfather in my entire life never told me he loved me. My pop showed me every day. And I never loved a man more in my life than my grandpa. Half my life is gone because, part of my life is gone because he's not around. And my grandma. These people were special humans. Grandfather didn't walk around telling people he loved them. Showed them. You got these two guys. That's why, sorry, Dad, if I'm making fun of them and I'm watching these two guys put some sort of bullshit out there like that, I don't believe it. People who constantly are addressing their relationship. Belichick and Brady never addressed it. They never talked about it. Brady talks more about his relationship now with Belichick. Okay? He talks more about his relationship with Belichick now than he ever did when he was a player. Okay? I want to play you something here. Something that I found from the old archives. And I'm going to play you something here. And I want to show you what right now the problem that you have on your team. And people with different focuses. This is a coach that I wanted to play for.
I don't want you on the football.
Okay. I'm going to play something. This is my favorite coach. I wanted to play for him. I wanted to play for Woody Hayes. Guy knocked on my door, recruited me. Unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to coach me, and I wasn't going to play for Earl Bruce. That stupid thing that they put on their social media pages about Nick Sirianni talking about heart and desire. I'll tell you what's the problem right now with the Eagles. Here it is.
Boys, I don't want you on the football field if you're going to show any signs of apathy. Apathy. Right there. And avoid it like the plague. Avoid it like the plague. It's the damnedest thing in the world, and you'll run on these guys this fall on the campus. Yeah, why get up in the world? Why play football? Yeah, you work too hard. Why do that? Yeah, come on and have a joint with me. Yeah. And hell, he'll sit there and look at his shoe for an hour. Yeah. And he's thinking great thoughts. What the hell he's going to do? You think I'm kidding you? I'm not kidding you, am I? And those people are apathetic as hell, and they're going nowhere. No. No. And there are a hell of a lot of people, and they take a lot of people with them, fellas. They take a lot of people with them. Because we all have a tendency to be lazy. And I don't know whether it's body chemistry or mind or whether it's a combination. It has to be a little bit of both. We all have a tendency to ease off at times. That's why you need good teachers and good coaches to push you a little bit. We all have to be pushed. The fact I'm a football coach, it's a competitive thing. I despise for people to beat us. That's why when I get good football players, I'm not going to let somebody else beat us. Because I'm cheating myself and I'm cheating my players if we don't get the best out of them. If I let you come here to college and flunk out of school, I'm cheating you because I'm older than you are. I know a little more about it than you do. And I know just going through this silly little book here helps enormously. If you only pick up one word today and learn to avoid that word like the plague, and you'll see him all over the campus. He'll be all over you. And he is never the guy that's done one damn thing to civilization. Not one thing.
Apathy. That's your problem with your team. It's apathy. You're lazy. You don't work hard. You don't think hard. You don't hire the right coaches and teachers. You're apathetic because your owner and your GM think they know better. Why would anybody else work hard at it? Trying to strive to get you better. Filming something different. Doing different drills. You know what that's called? Panic. Panic. The Eagle organization is once again panicking because they see the writing on the wall like they did fucking a year ago. Okay? It's easy to spot a loser if you know what you're looking for. They're not confident in what they're doing. You don't change direction on what the fuck you're doing mid-season. You hold to your convictions. These people have no convictions. We're evaluating and changing it. Dude, it's one thing to adjust. It's another thing to course change when you're in the middle of the ocean. It's an arrogant mentality of circling in the same spot and not doing anything about it. It's not hard to see. Do you have talent? It's the only reason you win. Are you a champion? Not in a billion years. You have a loser mentality with championship players. And that's why you circle in the same spot every year with the same result, just with different names. Xander keeps asking the question, how come I can't bring up 23? It looks the same. It is the same. You're circling in the same spot. Edelman said Belichick was like his parents were. They were not our friend. They're there to make us better human beings. Spot on, SILZ. Coaches aren't there to be your fucking buddy and have love fests and sit-downs and summits. Belichick and Brady never really had a relationship. They had a working relationship. That's a successful relationship. Dude, do you know when Brady said that thing the other day to Mayfield about being a champion? Hey, if I wanted fun, I'd go to Disney World. If I wanted love, I would go to my family. If I wanted friendship, I would go to my friends that I handpick. If I'm looking for my friend to be my boss, fuck that. I'm looking for my boss to get my company better, to make the company even bigger, to pay me more money, and to be successful. Anything else fucking doesn't matter. Kumbayas and all that shit, it's empty calories. This is completely unraveling in front of you as human beings. Why do you think they're posting that thing with Sirianni acting like he's Woody Hayes? Because they know he's not. You're making that guy seem like, and you're trying to make him look like Vince Lombardi. And he's not. No way we covered the 9.5. Hey, Jay Brown, fuck you. Get this. Most of you have never won a thing in your life. How would you know? How would you know? You wouldn't. There's a reason that there's more people in the stands than in the arena. Okay? There's a reason that more people sit in the stands drinking Slurpees and talking shit to the people in the arena. You know why? Because you've never done a goddamn thing in your life. That's what Coach Hayes was talking about. Tough love, hard coaching, telling someone what's good and bad. The Eagles have a problem with this. Okay? I mean, Hey, Big Sales, me and my brother are at work watching your show. Can you please tell him Randall Cunningham is better than Hurts? Not even remotely close. Randall Cunningham played in today's NFL. He beat Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. That's how good that guy was. I know. Played against him. Okay? Worst part is, I think most of the team wants to be coached hard. Absolutely. Hey, Podcast Eagle, when you get to that level, you weren't coached by pussies. You were coached tough. This is not aggravating me. Watching the Eagles portray this sitcom, this is really creepy. Organizations and good organizations don't act like this. Trying to manufacture leadership through video clips. Some of the best coaching goes on behind the scenes, not in video clips. How many video clips have you ever seen of Bill Belichick that you would use as a coaching tool? None, except the ones with him on the field. I mean, leaders lead behind the scenes when no one's watching. Not when people are watching and you're putting up these manufactured video clips like Bob Lang does. Bob Lang is the worst thing in the world for a guy who's not competent to be your coach, because he's lying to you every day he posts something. Dude, that press conference today, I don't know what he was talking about. I don't know how that's why they only keep him for 10 minutes, 8 minutes. Because the more he says, the stupider he looks. Sirianni wants to be the cool boss, not the real boss. Dude, he is atrocious. That team wins in spite of him. How good is Jalen Hurts? I don't know. We'll never know. We'll never know how good Wentz would have been. We saw glimpses of it. And when things went south, they moved off him. They didn't try coaching him. You ever notice that? When things go south, they move off of things. They don't try to rectify it. Why don't you take the example of Brandon Graham? Things weren't going well early in his career. Yet they stuck with him. And he turned out to be an Eagle Hall of Famer. They're a knee-jerk organization. If it doesn't work, they'll rip it up and do it again. They do it every year like that. I mean, get this. Carson Wentz was awesome in Indianapolis. He wasn't poor. He had a better year in Indianapolis than Jalen Hurts did in 22, passing-wise. He had a better year passing. That's a fact. There's not one number Jalen Hurts beat him in 2022. Not one through the air. Not one. Not one. Okay? Hey, SILZ. Saw something where Henry will be the last true Hall of Fame running back, being the only active running back remotely close to the 10K career number. Do you agree? Yeah. Unless they change the parameters where you start to see more of a pass catching guy and a dual threat guy like a Marcus Allen go into the Hall of Fame, it'll be something like that because they'll change the parameters. By the way, Big Rhythm, you're never going to see a 300-game winner in baseball ever again. I think the last 300-game winner was Tom Glavine. That'll be the last 300-game winner you'll ever see. Those days are gone. Guys go 5 2/3, and you're right. You know, sports changes. The 300 game winner is gone. You'll never see that again. Okay? Never see it again. Guys don't pitch that long. I didn't say he didn't pitch. I didn't say he played well in Washington, but he said every stop. That's not true. He was poor in every stop. That's absolutely not true. Okay? Yes. I haven't even got to the topics yet. I'm talking about where you are going into this game. I think they're more concerned about the teams. Get this. The only people that are going to beat the Eagles on Sunday are the Eagles. Not Cleveland. You know how I know this? Because you were run off the field by the Bucs. Well, SILZ, we didn't have all of our... Don't make excuses for losing. You know what the NFL is. Some days you have your players, some days you don't. You got to find a way to win. But it's also in how you lose. You can't just get destroyed and quit and wave the white flag after the first quarter, which they did. That team quit in Tampa. After the first quarter, when they were up 21, they quit. They completely quit. I'm going to give you what I think happens on Sunday here in a minute. But they quit. Where's your Woody Hayes, or your Lombardi coach, Nick Sirianni, with that speech? Get this, Nick Sirianni and the Eagles and Bob Lane post that speech when they needed that at halftime of Tampa or pregame of Tampa. Not on a fucking Wednesday in a bye week. Telling me how great a coach he is. It's so pathetic. This is professional football. This isn't junior high football or high school football. I don't need rah-rah speeches. Just put me in a position to win, and I'll go get it. Like a hound dog. Throw the bone, I'll go find it. Howie wants to throw the bone, show you where the bone is, what direction to take. Let the player go find the goddamn bone. Let the guy go do his gig. Micromanage the thing into the ground. That's what you're doing. Go get that bone Sunday. Hey, hound dog, go get that bone. Here's the take, SILZ. Hurts was nice and out Sirianni. So if they lose versus the Browns, people won't blame him like they blamed Rodgers for Salah. What do you think? Dude, that organization panics. And I'm not talking to players. Organization panics. God knows what they'll do Monday. Okay? I never understand micromanagers. Do they have the time of day and the energy to do that? Hey, Philly 4x4, me too. How do you sit there and come up with that bullshit? And how do you sit there with that energy all day and worry about shit that doesn't happen or not being prepared? You hire people to prepare people. You are not there to prepare the people to prepare the people. Okay? That's called delegating. That's a CEO coach. Not micromanaging your coaches and your players at the same time. They're micromanagers from Howie down. From the owner down. Dude, Jalen Hurts has so many people in his way. From the formula of what they're trying to do to him coaching-wise, to the scheme, to the meddling, to the kumbaya. Hey, go talk to Nick. Go do this. There's so much counterproductive stuff going on this year. There is no way. I'm telling you, this thing is teetering on whether or not they're a playoff team. And do they have playoff talent? Absolutely. Do they have a playoff and Super Bowl mentality? No way. Not right now. I keep getting asked this question. What's the identity? I don't know. They were more concerned about having summits, playing Fortnite, and going on podcasts and Nick tells you they were working hard. No, you weren't. That's not what the actions of the players and people were doing in the bye week. That's a complete out and out lie. Why would anyone believe anything they're saying? Then they turn around and get this so that you'll buy into it. Like guys like M. Reyes will buy into that kumbaya speech that he's some sort of fucking leader. And he'll wave his pom-poms and swear to you up and down that the Eagles are ready to go against the Browns. Under what mentality do you think they're ready for the Browns? Look at Kim here, man. That's right, Kim. Until the owner changes his philosophy about running the team the way it is, it'll never stop. It'll be the same thing year in and year out. Angelo, it is. That's why everyone keeps going. Same issues are happening. Why? Nothing changed. My number one priority in question to all of you in the bye was this. Do you think that they have eradicated the problems that they had in 23? Everyone from Zander on down said yes. I went, no way. I want to see it. Played itself out. It's even worse now. AJ, and you know what is crazy and sad? AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Lane are going to fix it. You had them a year ago, too. This is a culture thing. This is an organizational thing. They go up, they go down. They go up, they go down. I had to throw you in there, Xander. By the way, 3:30, my boy will be on. Hey, Xander just took some shrapnel. Yeah. But he did think hey, you know why? Because he loves the team. And you would assume that would be the right course. But see, in that league, man, you got to see it. You can't just talk it. Eagle leadership. Love circle jerks. Thank you, Jameson. Hey, Jameson. It's a great take right there when it comes to circle jerks. Because that's what it is. Boy, I'll tell you something, man. The loss of Kelsey and Cox on your football team is by far noticeable. By far. You gave that kid more leadership and more opportunities to have control of the offense, and it's gone worse and gotten worse. Hey, you can't pin C's on people. You have to earn them. That's the coolest thing about hockey. You don't get that C put on the sweater. That's an earned thing. In Philadelphia, they give you those titles and they give you jobs. Nakobe Dean beat out Devin White. I know Devin White sucks, but so does Nakobe Dean. Who would I rather have starting? White. Why? He's done more. He's a better player. But SILZ White sucks. Who said that Nakobe Dean has done anything in this league remotely close to what Devin White has done? But SILZ White's not good. I never said he was. He's better than that kid. SILZ, that's not true. Where in the world do you tell me Devin White is not better than Nakobe Dean. What game were you watching where you said Nakobe Dean has played better than anything that guy's ever done? What game is that? That guy's been terrible all year. Seth Joyner's now even saying, that guy ain't it. Where did you see that? This guy was this good. Where did you see that? SILZ, are you trying to say Devin White? No. But I know he's more accomplished than that guy, and he's only 26. Nakobe Dean has done dick. He's not good. But neither is White. At least White plays in the NFL. You're playing a guy who can't play in the NFL. That's right, 26 with a Super Bowl. I mean, really? Is Devin White a bust? Yes. He's a bust with a Super Bowl ring. Nakobe Dean is a bust showing he's never been able to play in this league. Who are you playing? These are the guys Howie brought in. It's the only reason I'm using those two is because those are your boys. Dude, if I had to choose between those two guys that guy drafted and brought in, I'm playing Devin White. White has, John McMullen goes, well, he hasn't shown. What in the fuck has Nakobe Dean shown? What? He's good in practice? Got to give me a break here, man. How you evaluate people is hilarious. Let me ask this question. By the way, our NFL Insider, Hall of Fame voter Jason Cole, 4:30. Philly Godfather at 5:30. Zander at the bottom of 3:30 Eastern Time. Is Nick Sirianni coaching for his job? You know, as I said it, I just realized why they posted that stuff now and had the summit. The Eagles are concerned that Nick will lose his job and there'll be an outcry if they lose Sunday from the Philly media and from the Philly fans if they lose Sunday. That's why Hurts has to be, they're getting ahead of it. Imagine this. Think about what they're doing now this week. They didn't need to put those videos out. Jalen didn't need to validate Nick Sirianni. There was no need for it. You guys didn't play a game. They're getting ahead of it. If they play poorly and it's a close win or it's a loss, they want to get ahead of this for next week. That's what they're doing. It's a preemptive strike to make sure you don't go batty that Nick's a good coach. They're going to lie to you ahead of time just so you can calm down if this thing's close. If this thing's close, you'll still demand his job. I know you will. I will. Browns suck. Browns suck. But the Browns have a matchup, and I'm going to explain it here in a minute. Okay? Let me tell you something. You guys know this. And you guys tell me right now, please hit the like button. You tell me right now. And I'm with you. I think they win. Okay? But it's how they win. Because if some of you see that team limping around, farting around on Sunday, you're going to have more disdain for that ugly win than you would have if they lost and played well. You watch. You watch. The owner likes that style of coach more than Doug Peterson or Andy Reid. You know why? He doesn't demand anything. He doesn't demand a say in personnel. He doesn't demand a say in assistant coaches. He doesn't demand now a say in the game plan. This guy is a perfect analytical coach. That's what they want. They don't want a guy with a voice in the room. That's why they're protecting him. Or they wouldn't be putting these videos. Let me tell you something. NFL teams, when they put you out on an island, like Robert Saleh was put on an island, let me say something to you. When the quarterback made public statements about Robert Saleh, and plus he was 20 and 30, and he had a problem, the quarterback with Nathaniel Hackett being demoted by Robert Saleh, he was out. Owner came in, threw him to the wolves. These owners, man, are going to take the side of the money that they pay now the player. Jeffrey Lurie is not on Nick Sirianni's side, but he likes the style, so he's going to keep it. They've sided with Hurts because they have to. No trade clause. 3 more years. Money's too much to get off of. They're going to sink or swim with him. And they don't mind swimming around with him if they're winning 11, 12 games and getting bounced in the playoffs. Oh, well. Happened to McNabb, too. So, they got McNabb 2.0 with Andy Reid. They're good with that. And maybe they sneak themselves into a Super Bowl. Dude, they snuck themselves into a Super Bowl win at 17. I would make this point to you. That has to be the biggest upset in history of Super Bowl play. Would you not agree? Can you think of another Super Bowl upset where you went, holy cow, the underdog won like that? What other Super Bowl? The Jets beating the Colts? That's an iconic game. So the Jets and the Eagles are the biggest upset winners of all time in Super Bowl history. Patriots were favored to win that Falcons game, dude. That wasn't an upset. They won it. Giants-Pats, probably a little bit there too. But they'd had Eli Manning. You had a backup. Hit the like button, please. All right. Let's do Browns and Eagles. Give me a number for Sunday's game. First time we've asked it. Hit the like button, guys. Give me a number that you see for Sunday's game. $31-7 Eagles win. Okay. 35-10. Mr. International, 33-21. Someone has my number up here. I'm going to write his name down. Hey, Zander, can we put up that super chat, please? By the way, all super chats, we read them. We appreciate it. This entire organization is becoming a soap opera. They videoed dumb new tackling drills last year, tackling drills. Last year, video the stupid fumbling drill, video Sirianni's crappy motivational speech. Play damn football. Beardedville, absolutely. Cody, I see. Okay. $30-17. Guys, do me a favor, please. Hit the like button. Xander will join me at 3:30. Here we go. Out of the bye. The Eagles, a very underwhelming team right now versus a Eagle team that's very underachieving. Injuries have played a factor, no question. I would even say the Browns are underachieving. But here, entering this game, The Browns defense is one of the top units in the National Football League versus an offense that has some of the top talent in the NFL. Who wins that battle? Be a great confrontation. Great confrontation come Sunday. And I would also make the point to you that they've got better coaching. Jim Schwartz is a better coach than Vic Fangio. His resume proves it. Former head coach, assistant coach of the year, Super Bowl championship, a number one defense. There's not a chance in hell that Vic Fangio is a better coach than Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz's resume speaks to it. Vic Fangio's never had a number one defense. Vic Fangio's never had a Super Bowl championship. Jim Schwartz has. So, we will see how Kellen Moore coordinates against Jim Schwartz. And if Hurts is smart enough and good enough to execute against Jim Schwartz's defense. Okay? We shall see. Todd Bowles ran circles around Hurts. Actually, Raheem Morris did too. Raheem absolutely did a great job against Jalen Hurts. And Jim Schwartz is also a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator, as is Raheem. Okay? This game's going to come down to the fact, in my opinion, the defensive unit of the Browns versus the Eagles' offensive unit. Two good-looking units, both of them. Star powers. Schwartz is going to blitz. Armand, he's going to blitz. There'll be massive pressure in this game. Okay? And Myles Garrett, they got great players at every level in Cleveland. That's a great, you know what? And he is right. Mike Vrabel, by the way, is a consultant with Jim Schwartz in Cleveland. And he's helping coach the Cleveland Browns. That's a fact. Now, on the other side, you have the worst defense, a bottom five defense in the Philadelphia Eagles, and you have a bottom five offense with the Browns. Kevin Stefanski's a better coach than Kellen Moore, two-time NFL Coach of the Year. This guy got to the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco and four other quarterbacks. Coaching's on the side of the Browns in this game, by far. Get this. You guys say this. Well, the Browns are terrible. Not defensively. Offensively, yes. But they're going against a bottom five defense. Where's your advantage on defense? You don't have one. You don't have an advantage on defense against this bottom five offense with the Browns. You don't have an advantage. Where's your advantage? You have no pass rushers. You got two underwhelming tackles playing. Your linebackers are horrible. Your cornerback play has been suspect, and your safety play has been suspect. Where in the world is your advantage? The advantage is the Eagles' D-line that have been giving up 138 yards a game rushing. That's your advantage? You're making it sound like you've played well. Senor thinks that the Eagle D-line has played well. That's his advantage. They played well in one game. The rest of them have been underwhelming. Senor's making it sound like those two tackles have said, that's not your advantage in this game. You haven't played well enough to sit there and say that's your advantage. You're guessing that. Go by the first 4 games of the year. You don't have an advantage at tackle. You think you do. I thought you had the advantage against those shitty guards in Tampa. Didn't you? Xander, right? Didn't we think the Eagles had the advantage with the 2 tackles against the Bucs? You had a center who was a rookie, and you had 2 guys. Ian Beckles came on that week and said weren't playing well, and they crushed you. Where was your advantage there? You're making it sound like you're good. You're going to play 10 yards off the ball. He's not going to be threatened in the passing game. You have no pass rush. Where is your advantage? You don't blitz. You have no pressure. You play 10 yards off the ball, and your safeties are too high. Where's your advantage that this guy's not going to complete? Deshaun Watson's going to complete passes. You know why? No one's going to defend him. That's not an opinion. That's a scheme thing. Oh, you're not going to play all of a sudden man coverage. That's right, Mr. International. And no pressure. Watson cannot throw the ball accurately. He doesn't have to. No one's guarding him. Nobody's guarding him. I think the tight end's going to have an enormous game for the Browns. That kid from Miami can play. And you ain't got a guy on that team that can cover him. Biggest matchup is our cornerbacks. I have no confidence. No place Slade can stick with Cooper or Judy. Not to mention the O-line is decent. They're banged up, but they're a good unit, but they're banged up. They're going to attack Dean and Slay all day like other teams do. They're going to attack that linebacking core because you know why? They're not good. Who's covering the tight end? Cooper DeJean? Steve says this. For the love of God, can we try another defensive scheme? No. It's the guy you hired. Short passes to running backs or wide receivers. And missing tackles. Hey, Nate, 18 or 15 missed tackles last game. Throwing the backs and tight ends. You really think they're going to all of a sudden, because of those stupid new drills, start tackling better? Look at this guy. This guy's as dumb as his post. DeJean's the new component. They're going to attack him. Still stop. You say the exact same shit. Who's covering it? Who's covering the tight end? The tight end? Wait a minute, senor. You know why I say the same thing? Because your scheme puts out the same shit every week. That's why it's the same. This guy's stupid too right now, senor. SILZ, you say the same exact shit, okay? You put out the same exact shit every Sunday. I mean, it's the same exact shit. You're right. Are you under the assumption that your linebackers are decent, can cover? Senor actually validates it. SILZ, you say the same shit, and that's why your defense sucks. Because they're doing the same shit week in and week out. Thank you, senor. You're not as dumb as your post. Because you're right. It's the same stuff. Week in and week out. You're dead right. I'm assuming Watson cannot go out and beat a bottom 5 defense. Okay. Because they have a bottom 5 offense. That's fair enough, senor. That's fair enough. That their offense is worse than the Eagle defense. That's not awful. Okay? SILZ obviously watches these games with his eyes open. Okay? Senor, that's okay. That's a fair take. 49er, 5 rookies played last night, 2 started. Why do others make arguments like you've never studied the tape? Because they don't want to hear it, Harv. They want to assume it. Like how he assumed Bryce Huff could play 3 downs. You can't assume that. There is nothing you can take for granted in the NFL. How he assumed that Nolan Smith would take over for Hassan Reddick and Bryce Huff. You know how that whole thing worked out? They saw Nolan Smith a year ago play. They realized that process was going to be slower than what they thought. And that's why they went out and got Huff. And when they realized that Huff can't be a 3-down guy, now they got 2 disasters. The 30th pick and a horseshit free agent signing. It's a double loss. The draft pick, shit, and get this, and the money. And if you want to add a third component, you lose Reddick. Not that he's doing himself any favors, just to show you how pathetic he is. CAA, an agency, fired him because of his incompetence. Now we know. The agency has been telling him, get back to work. Get back to work. Reddick doesn't want to go back to work for the money. Well, it cost him $12 million. You realize if he were to go back to work right now, he'd be playing for $2 million. If he went back today, 2 more weeks, he can't go back. Reddick's not playing this year. Reddick's not playing. He'd be playing for $2 million. He owes $12 million in fines. Now, again, I don't know if you could defer that out and spread that out over a couple of years. I don't know how that works with the CBA, but he owes $12 million to the league. It's written explicitly in your contracts. If you're a holdout and you're missing at the facility game checks, you're fined every day. Here, let me finish. Kevin Stefanski is a hell of a coordinator. He's a brilliant coach. Okay? He's better than Kellen Moore. I'm concerned about this game. If you're a betting person, you take the 9.5 or 8.5, whatever it is. Take the Browns. Outright? Dude, I got the Eagles winning 24-21. But this is a 4-quarter game. This is a 4-quarter football game. This could come down to Nick making one of those idiotic decisions again by passing up the field goals. This could come down to those analytical decisions of his that could cost him this game. This is not going to be a smooth game for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know why? You have no defense. No matter how well you play on offense, this will not be a smooth game. I want you guys to start understanding one thing. You're going to play 60 minutes of football for the remaining 12 football games. Okay? For the next 12 games, you're playing 60 minutes. Cleveland's a better coach team than you. The problem that Cleveland has right now, if I were covering them, I don't think they've quit on their coach. I think they're in the process of quitting on their quarterback. Everyone else is doing their job in Cleveland except him. And I think you got a game. I think right now they're going to quit on him, if anything. They're not going to quit on Stefanski. But here's the deal. Stefanski could lose his job because of the money that's guaranteed to this guy. The only way that they're going to get out from under that is that they're going to have to pull some NFL shenanigans. Someone's going to have to press charges, and they're going to have to try to void the contract somehow, which they probably will. They'll come up with some bogus charge against the kid to get out from that $230 million contract. They'll come up with some fraud thing. Okay. The charge, you know how they got OJ on memorabilia, put him in jail for 11 years on memorabilia, not the murders? That's what they'll do here. Somebody will go like this. He said boo to me. They'll void the contract. And it will justify the other 22 cases he had against him. And that's how they'll look at it and clean your soul with it. Okay? Is Sirianni coaching for his job on Sunday? Is he? Coaching for his job? Abe says no. Or maybe if he loses. If Barkley had 3 carries by halftime, again, we lose. This comes down to how many times Nick overrides more Fangio, will let Watson play catch with the Birds defense, and that's an L. Anthony, Anthony, here is JB may be right. Here is the formula to beat the Cleveland Browns handily. 25, 26 carries for Saquon Barkley. Minimal targets to AJ and Devontae in the first half. It'll open up more in the second half because Barkley will weaken them in the first half. You'll get a lead. By the way, don't let the Browns get a lead on you. Do not let the Browns get a lead because that means Hurts has to throw the ball more and you'll get beat. If Jalen Hurts throws the ball 37 or 38 times and Barkley has under 15 carries, the Eagles will lose. And you go, why? I go, because you kept your defense on the field too long. Be prepared. Somebody from the Browns is going to have a big game offensively catching the ball. Why? You allow it. It's not because you don't allow it. You allow it. You allow everyone. No matter if it's Sam Howell or Drew Lock or Zach Wilson. You allow it. That's the style of defense you play. You allow it. Myles Garrett's a great player. They're beating these bums by 20. I bet on US. Bet US. They're beating these bums by 20. Or they haven't beaten anybody by 20. Shit, they haven't scored 20 points in the last 2 games, have they? Combined? I think so. What was the Bucs score? It was 15 points you scored against the Falcons. And what did you score, 20? So what are you averaging right now? About 18 points a game, last 2 games? I know it's without your stars. Or maybe it's because your quarterback sucks. Roseman is responsible for choreographing this team that is void of character. Absolutely. They do not have a work ethic because they do not respect the head coach. And the head coach demands hard work because he's faking it. He can't demand that. You're right. He cannot. Because they don't respect his words. That's why we lose Sunday, because we can't score in the first quarter and the Browns will get the lead. And then it's curtains on our defense. And we won't run Barkley. Get this. Browns are averaging way less. Oh, so you're averaging what the Browns are averaging. Sounds like you're in a good conversation. I thought we'd be comparing the Eagles to the Chiefs, not the Browns. Haven't beat anyone by 20 since 22. If we win by 20, we build confidence. Clairvoy? Yes. Since Nick and Jalen's been in command besides 22, the Eagles haven't felt like the Eagles. It's a great take. Let me add this up for a second. 9-8, 11-6, 2-2, 16, 22. Isn't that crazy? If you take that one-year anomaly season away, like the Giants when they got to the postseason a couple of years ago, the Eagles are 22-16. Actually, you got to add two. They're 26 counting the playoffs. They're 26-18. Beside with that 1 year wonder. Outside of 22, they're 26-18. And you think that you keep quoting the 22 season. Well, 21, 23, and now you're 26-18. Outside of that 1 year, 2017 heroic season, you've been 500. Hey, Clairvoy, I never looked at it that way. Because if I'm calling 22 a fluke, like Anthony, you're 500 under Nick Sirianni. And you're 0-2 in the playoffs. Outside of your 1 year fluke, you're 26-18. Shit, at least the Cowboys have won 36 games over the last 3 years. They get dumped in the playoffs, but you know what they are in the playoffs. You were just a fluke. You got through that shitty Giants team, and then you beat Christian McCaffrey at quarterback in the Niners. If you don't count Shane in control. No. Actually, you want to hear something even crazier? Without Shane, you go 2-5. Last year was 11-6. You're 15-14. Without Shane and with the playoff losses, you're hold on. 2-5 under Nick. 11-6 under Nick last year. It's 13-11. They lost that playoff game. So that's two play. Now no, my bad. You're 15-15. You're 15-15 counting the two playoff losses without Shane Steichen as your offensive coordinator. If Shane's not your offensive coordinator, you're 15-15. 2-5-21. Sirianni last year, 11-6. 0-2 in the playoffs. And 2-2 this year. He's 15-15. Where are you good? Where are you good? Outside of 1 year. You have nothing to land on. Except this. AJ's getting paid. Devontae's getting paid. They're putting great numbers up. But you're not putting wins up. The team is shitty. Stop blaming coaches. The coaches have changed players, stayed the same. How many coaches Jalen has gotten fired before you blame the culprit, Jalen Hurts? You paid him too soon. Said it that year. Everyone killed me. What is Shane doing at Indianapolis? Who said Anthony Richardson was good? Are you assuming Anthony Richardson's good? Shit. Who said he's good? And get this. He thinks cherry picking this. Well, who was the offensive coordinator in 21 for the first 7 games? This is what Anthony says and calls cherry picking. Well, it was Sirianni. Remember? They turned over to play calling. Last year, Nick said that the offense was his, right? Okay. Well, that's 11 and 13. Okay. Right? Okay. Then he's 2 and 2 this year. That's 15 and 13. Okay. He says it's collaborative effort now. And you lost the playoff game. You're actually 15 and 14 because Shane lost that playoff game because he was the coordinator when they went down to Brady. So you can't give him that one. That's on Shane's record. So under Nick Sirianni's guidance with the offense, he's 15 and 14 being involved in play calling. And Anthony thinks that's cherry picking. That the only time that they've had any kind of success is with a coach that ran the RPO in a different style offense. How is that cherry picking and not seeing a trend? Anthony doesn't want to see the trend. The trend was Hurts can't run this style offense. This is 30 games. This is not 6. This is 30. This is 30 football games. The 2 and 5, they were throwing the ball. They wanted him to be a pocket passer then. Okay? That's why the duties were taken away and put the RPO in. Get this. Young says it's cherry picking. How's it cherry picking when the only style that he's played that he's had success is no longer here and you're 15 and 14 after almost 30 games? How's that fucking cherry picking when that's the reality of what's going on here? This is called trends. Nick says they go back 4 years. Why can't I? Get that, Zander? Nick Sirianni said in a press conference 2 days ago that they go back 4 years and look at everything they do. Oh, I see. I can't, but you think I'm wrong by doing it. Nick does it. Nick does it. But get this. So wait a minute. He wasn't involved in the RPO. You know why? Nick Sirianni has never coached an RPO quarterback in his entire life. He didn't know the system. It's why they turned it over to him. And if he did, why didn't they stay with the RPO? Because Nick doesn't know the RPO. Do you understand the reason they've moved off the RPOs? Because the head coach has no idea how to run it. And right now it's showing that Kellen doesn't. That's why they're running less motion. Holy shit. You people do not know football, some of you. You have no idea what you're talking about. You have to play to a player's skill set, not to your skill set. Just because the offensive coordinator has a plan doesn't mean the kid can execute it. You can't be dumber. You cannot be dumber. Get this. RPO was out of Sirianni's plan. Absolutely not. If that was the case, he would have kept calling plays. Wow. How dumb are you? My God, oh my. Hey, do you think Zach Taylor? So wait a minute. Get this. This is what some of you think. That Joe Burrow would come and run an RPO offense in Baltimore. Do you really think that? That Joe Burrow could run that Baltimore offense? Never. There's too many designed run plays. There's too many designed run plays. By the way, Abe, get this, Abe. What is the one quarterback that Jalen Hurts said that he watched because of Nick Sirianni? Who was that guy? It was Phillip Rivers. Last time I checked, Phillip Rivers couldn't jump over a stack of quarters, let alone run an RPO. Holy. This guy's 15-14 without Shane Steichen in the building. Holy cow. Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Look, here we go. Can't wait for Sunday. Holy cow. Oh, man. So let me get this right. The Eagles are 26-18 outside of that 14-3 1-year wonder. You're 26-18. Let me put this over here, man. This is getting sticky over here. Oh. Hey, before I get Zander on here, by the way, the co-host of Birds 365, I want to tell you something. Me and Xander had a harmony conversation earlier today. We were checking out both of our Tinder profiles, and we were both coming up with the conclusion that our pictures had to be changed out on Tinder and that our profile had to be updated because, I put on a few extra pounds and I just wanted to be able to, make sure I tell my brother how much I love him and how much he loves me and all that. And, I just want to make sure everyone knows that, we're able to come together in harmony and give you this great network. So without further ado, I want to bring in my brother and my brother Tinder page partner. That is the co-host of the pre and post game show and also Birds 365. The legendary king of Tinder, my friend, Zander, Big J Krause.
What a brutal intro, everybody. Are you kidding me? It's a football Friday, and that's the intro we get? Are you kidding me?
I mean it, man. I mean, that's kind of how I felt watching the whole Nick. Hey, Xander, honestly, you've been in a relationship with a chick. Dude, how many times you got to keep talking about your relationship before, what do you know? What's up? Either you like the chick, she likes you, you like her. I mean, it's been 3 years now of this love affair going on here, man. I mean, surely these guys are going back and forth. And remember what Nick said too? All that other stuff, when John McMullen, our very own John McMullen, asked him about Robert Saleh being fired. Remember what he said? I don't concern myself with noise that I can't control. So what you concern yourself with is how